Hey, welcome to Cody in the Cinema. Today I wanted to talk about a few Criterion titles that I have in my hand that I'm thinking about trading in at Orbit DVD. If you're unfamiliar with Orbit DVD, they are a really good store in Asheville, North Carolina. And Asheville is directly on my way to the Smoky Mountains, the Great Smoky Mountains, which I'm going to at Thanksgiving. I've been there before hiking. I love doing that over Thanksgiving. And that's just a good stop off for me. And I have a handful of discs here I'm really considering trading in, and I thought, well, maybe if I throw my thoughts out there, especially the really unpopular ones, somebody might talk me out of it. Or somebody might yell at me and saying, you don't understand what good movies are. I probably don't, I don't know. But I thought I'd make this video just to see what happened. So the first of these movies, and this is the one that I can't figure out why I can't get attached to it. I should, right? It's got great music. It's got great cinematography, good performances, and why don't I like all that jazz more than I do? I think it's the length, or maybe it's not the length. Maybe it's the fact that I was tired when I watched it. Maybe I was too exhausted. Maybe I wasn't paying attention. But especially those end scenes. I mean, this movie just felt like it kept going in circles for me a little bit. And I found myself liking it instead of loving it. I wanted this to be a favorite musical, and it's not. It's just not. So, I don't know. It's clever, certainly. I know the main character is supposed to be unlikable. I get that. That's part of the point, and I love plenty of movies with unlikable characters. But I just could not get attached to the story, especially the Jessica Lange element. As much as I love Jessica Lange, love that actress, I just couldn't quite get there. In terms of I want to see this movie 2 or 3 times. I watched it once. I think I'm done with it. That's what I'm a little bit skeptical about. Maybe I just need to go back and see it again. I don't know. What do y'all think? Okay. One that I'm pretty sure I'm not going to watch again that I did enjoy, I just didn't find it to be especially memorable, was All That Money Can Buy. And this is the adaptation of the short story, The Devil and Daniel Webster. Took me a second there. I actually like the Alec Baldwin reading of it a little better than the actual movie in some ways, but it does have a really good Walter Houston performance. Outside of that, it's just this, for me, it was a little bit a little too preachy for me in terms of and a little bit too neatly tied up to be something truly memorable. But if some of you liked it a little better than I did, this was a 3.5 star kind of movie for me, maybe even 4, I don't know. I wanted to be more impressed with it than I was. So maybe someone can talk me out of getting rid of that. And I'm going to go ahead and take my cinema card that proves that I've seen movies and that I can enjoy fine movies. I'm going to take that and I'm going to throw it directly in the trash can right now. And I have got to be missing something here, so please someone tell me. But I did not love Close Up. I didn't. I'm being honest with myself and with the viewer. I liked it. I thought it was a cool movie. I enjoyed seeing it once. I like Taste of Cherry a little better. If this is a documentary hybrid with a story about a man who impersonates a well-known filmmaker, I thought the courtroom segments and so forth were a little dull. I'm not going to lie. I wasn't super interested in the story, and I didn't feel a large amount of empathy for the main character as I would have liked to. I don't know. This is one of those that I wouldn't be surprised if I watched it 5 years from now and gave it 5 stars, because I know it's a well-known, well-respected movie. So if there's something about it that spoke to you personally, I'd love to hear from you, because I just couldn't. It just didn't stick to my ribs, Maybe I just need to see it again. That's the beauty of films, is that there are films that I felt this way about, and then I watch them years later, and I'm just oh, that's great. What was wrong with me? I don't know. That one's one that I'm just, man, I wanted to like it more than I did. Maybe I did like it more than I think. I don't know. All right, Crash, the David Cronenberg film. This movie is wild. If you haven't seen it, it had mixed reactions. What was it? Coppola or someone just hated this movie when it was debuted. It definitely has some good acting, and it's definitely ambitious, and it's cool with James Spader, Holly Hunter. If you've seen this movie, you know what I'm talking about. It's not as much my thing personally. it's definitely a certain kind of movie for a certain kind of person, and I like that. And I love that it has personality. In fact, I almost respect Crash in some ways the most out of this whole stack because of how dedicated it is to what it's doing. But I just don't need to see it again. It's wild, man. These people have like a fixation around like crashing cars for fun. I don't know. The Reddit loves it. Reddit loves Crash. Man, if you go on the Criterion Reddit, subreddit, they love Crash. All right, this is another one that, you know what, I think I'm going to keep this one. I was going to say, I don't know if I'm going to, the Cremator, again, this is one of those movies that, for me, it was just like images that kind of go in circles plot-wise, but I don't know, the more I think about it, I'll probably watch this again. This has to do, it's hard to talk about this movie without spoiling where it inevitably goes, but this has to do with someone who's literally a cremator, and he gets wrapped up in some questionable evil activities, and it does use its sort of, like I said, its visuals kind of, in my opinion, a little bit repetitively to make its point, but I don't know. You know, now I'm sitting here talking about it and thinking about it. You know what, I'm gonna keep this one. I'm gonna keep the Cremator. I talked myself into it. It's on horror list all the time. Like, you've got to see this horror movie. I don't know. Like, it does have horror scenes, especially at the end. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm keeping it. All right, not getting rid of it. Now I'm gonna talk about the film that disappointed me the most out of this list. These other films here, I think, are all better than the one I'm going to talk about. I think this is a film that I like just a little bit in a few scenes that, to me, in my opinion, with a little bit more editing and thought to the script, could have been an all-time great Western. And that is Lone Star. Okay? Lone Star, for me, like I said, with a little bit, too many plot lines dangled loosely around each other. So this is a story about this cop who's trying to figure out some corruption that happened in the local police department. And there are individual tremendous performances, two of which come to mind, Chris Christopherson and Matthew McConaughey. Like, those scenes are lights out great. And I love a lot of the themes that this thing is dealing with. This director, John Sayles, directed Mate 1, which is another great movie that has some similar ideas. And I love the themes of this movie. And there's so many different character arcs and storylines. It's kind of hard to attach to any one certain piece of it. And for me, I just found myself like back and forth through so many different, like I couldn't latch onto one character. It did not work for me completely as an ensemble piece. But I understand it is popular and that it's a pretty movie for sure, and it does have some good performances. But I wanted a better script. So I know that this was like long awaited by movie fans who really wanted it, but I couldn't get into it that much for that reason. Maybe other people liked it better. I'd love to hear from you. And this is one that I thought was a great movie that I just don't feel the need to see again. Wanda. This is about a woman who ends up in some legally questionable activities, and she is a little bit down on her luck in terms of finances and so forth. I love the cinematography in this, the acting, all that's very good. It's a really good indie film. But again, I just don't know if I'll watch it again. So the biggest thing I'm coming from here with most of these is, will I watch it again? So I don't think I'm going to watch this one again, All That Money Can Buy or The Devil and Daniel Webster. Okay, I don't think I'm going to watch that one again. But I could see myself watching any of these others again other than Lone Star. I could, maybe. I don't know. What do you all think? Am I making any big mistakes here? Are there any of these that you would absolutely keep? Maybe you love a movie here that I didn't love. But I do want to emphasize that I did at least like all these movies. Let me know. It would be helpful because, like I said, I do want to get more movies from Orbit DVD. And, this is a good way to get some easy store credit. But if you like the content, if you could do me a favor, go ahead and hit that like button. Or dislike if you hate my movie opinions here. That's cool too. But anyway, we'll see you next time on Cody in the Cinema.